afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Our first webinar of 2022. I hope everyone's new year has started off with a bang and things are going well for you. And we really do appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us today. We've got a lot of really good information to share with you about starting a business in healthcare. Is this your year? I know a lot of you on this webinar have been thinking long and hard about starting their own business. There's a lot of people that are just, they're tired of the 9-to-5. They're tired of having a boss telling them what to do all the time. And they're really ready to start their own business, but not quite sure how to go about doing it. And also not quite sure what industry they want to be in. Well, we're going to tell you about starting a business in the healthcare industry, a business that we have put together 28 years ago, actually, is when this company got started. But before we get into all of that, let's do a little bit of checking in with you as far as the audio. Hopefully you can see me. I can see myself in my little video window here. So if you can hear me talking right now, if you could just type into the Q&A box or the chat box, either one, and maybe just type your name, where you're from. Let me know that you can hear me okay. That would be awesome, so that I could know that I'm not just talking into the ether to no one. I don't see anybody typing anything yet. So let's see, am I muted? No, I'm not muted. We've got audio coming in. Oh, here we go. Nicole from Maryland, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much for typing that in there, Nicole. Appreciate that. Fred is here. Hey, everybody, Fred is here. Hey, Fred, thanks for joining us. And we've got several more people that are coming into the room here. Oh, great. Chris from Ohio can hear us. Awesome. Great. Thank you very much for typing that in there, Chris. By the way, if you found the Q&A box, as we go here, we will be giving you little reminders, but any questions at all about starting a business in healthcare, medical billing questions, anything that you've got that you want answered today, type it in the Q&A box for us, and we'll start answering questions as we go here. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. I will introduce myself. My name is Adam Phillips. I am the CEO of American Business Systems, and I'm really happy that you were able to join us today. We've got a lot of awesome information that we're going to be sharing. A little bit about myself. I actually authored a book recently, and myself and also my father, who's the founder of the company, has also written books. And these books were specifically created for you to offer as a little treat for the doctors, if you will, to help educate them on what's really going on in their practice in terms of things that they're doing to collect their money that could be improved upon. This is what we are all about, is helping doctors thrive in private practice. And so what this book does is this gives them a way to just kind of quickly educate themselves. And it also positions you, after you go through our program, this book will help position you as an expert in this industry, which is what it's all about when it comes to making connections with people and getting referrals and getting new clients and getting doctors to trust you and want to work with you. That's what this business is all about. And that's what we help you out with very heavily. Anyone on this webinar that would like a free copy of this book, we have an e-version of the book. If you can just get back with the rep that invited you to this webinar, we can send you a free copy of this book, my book. So there you go. You're welcome. Free gift for the new year there. So I mentioned this company was started by my parents. They actually started the company. There's my mom and dad right there, smiling, happy couple. They actually started the company back in 1994. So guess what? We had just celebrated our 28th anniversary. Well, I guess this year we're currently celebrating our 28th anniversary. We've been doing this for a long, long time. Even prior to 94, they had started their own little medical billing business under a different company name. In the 80s, I actually remember my mother using a typewriter to do medical claim forms. That's how long we have been doing this. It's been a long, long time. And luckily, we don't have to do it that way anymore. We've gone all electronic. We're all in the cloud now. Everything is integrated. really, really cool software systems and stuff that we're going to show you on this webinar today. So let's talk about our recent addition to the franchise dictionary. We were recently voted one of the top 100 game changers for 2021 for Franchise Directory. So if you want to look that magazine up, great magazine. It'll actually give you a lot of information about all kinds of different opportunities, but we're one of the best in the book. So check that out, top 100 game changers. That's us. Let's see. So this is a picture to just kind of give you an example of all the different services and solutions that we have available to you when you become a licensee of our company, one of our owners. We actually have a dozen different services and solutions. And I know right now you're thinking a dozen, you're counting the boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's not 12 there. Well, it costs a lot of money to Photoshop boxes into a picture. So we didn't do that. So don't worry about it. We have 12 services, even though there's not 12 showing on this picture right here. This is just an example of some of the stuff that you can do. And we have done a lot of webinars that actually go into specific detail on all of our services and how they work. We're going to kind of gloss over those today. Not the topic, that's not the topic of this webinar, but we can point you to a webinar that will show you exactly what all of these services do and why doctors need them very badly right now in these times. Okay, so let's see. So just as a reminder, any questions that come to mind as we're going here, feel free to type them into the Q&A box. I don't see anything yet, but we're just getting started here. So as we see the questions come in, Jason and I will be answering those questions for you. No question is too silly. So just type anything in there that you want to. And let's see, what slide are we on now? We are on the virtual brochure. There it is. If you have not seen our virtual brochure, you definitely want to check that out. You can go to our website, absystems.com. Or you can type in americanbusinesssystems.com. That'll go to the same place. And there's a little orange button in the top corner that says virtual brochure. If you click on that button, you just put your name and email in there, and that will give you access to our brochure, which also gives you access to our research guide. If you really start to get serious about our opportunity, you've got to download that research guide. It's a 60-page PDF document that goes into a ton of detail on the industry, the market size, all the services that I mentioned, how much money you can make on all the services. So it's very important that you get that research guide there. We can also send you a direct link to the research guide as well. But the virtual brochure is definitely worth checking out. Okay, so here's another reminder. Type in your Q&A questions as we go here, and we will answer them as we go. I already covered that. So now let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off. I'd like to introduce to you my co-host for today. His name is Jason Pettit. He is our VP of Business Development. He has been with this company for many, many, many years. He's my best friend. We grew up together. Happy to have you here, Jason. Why don't you go ahead and take it away, sir?
Great to be here, Adam. Thanks for having me. Actually, 16 years is the current ticker for my ABS journey. And glad to be here, great company. And I want to say a special Happy New Year to everyone joining us today. If your first business week of the year is anything like my first business week of the year, it's no small feat for you to be here on a Wednesday afternoon with us. I think after the holidays, everything starts at 100 miles per hour. So thank you for taking time out of your busy day and joining us and learning more about the American Business Systems business model. So today we are going to talk about the reasons that a healthcare business is something to consider for starting in 2022. There's a lot of great reasons to start a business in healthcare. And in particular, there's a lot of great reasons to start a healthcare business with American Business Systems. So we're just going to jump right in. And the first question that we have here is, why start a business in healthcare? What's the advantage of starting a business in this industry? Well, one of the main advantages is it is an absolutely monstrous industry when it comes to the amount of spending and the overall market size. So since the year 2000, healthcare spending has been over $1 trillion. We crossed the $1 trillion spending mark in the year 2000, and it has increased every single year since then. The United States, this is probably no surprise if you know much about the healthcare system. The United States healthcare spending per capita, per person, we spend double what most other countries spend on healthcare. It's unbelievable how much money is pumped through the US healthcare system. In 2022, US healthcare spending is projected to be over $4 trillion. And healthcare spending in the United States is an enormous chunk of the overall GDP, gross domestic product. So you're getting into an industry that is massive. It's recession proof. It's most certainly pandemic proof, because during a pandemic, lots more people go to the doctor. Lots more people are sick, and the spending is through the roof right now. As you can see on the chart there on the left, and you can go Google US healthcare spending or US healthcare market size, and every single graph you look at looks like this. It's just, there's just never a dip. It's just up and to the right, and no end in sight. So another thing that I'd like to add on to this, in addition to all the spending that happens in the healthcare industry, from American Business System standpoint, it's been enormously profitable for our almost 3 decades in the industry. For 28 years, as Adam mentioned, we're celebrating our 28th anniversary this year. For 28 years, American Business Systems has always had a growth year and has always been profitable. American Business Systems carries no debt, and that is an unbelievable thing to say for a 28-year run, to have a profitable year over profitable year strung together for 28 years. So if you're considering a business in healthcare and you're considering partnering with American Business Systems to help you launch your business, you're buckling into an industry that is perpetual growth, and you're partnering with a company that has been profitable for 3 decades. So I think that says a lot. You're not getting into a fad industry. You're not getting into an industry where it's reliant upon people's discretionary spending, where, once the economy slows down, all of a sudden people stop spending on things like luxury items and stuff like that. You got to spend on healthcare. If you're sick, you need to go to the doctor, you need medicine. It doesn't matter what the economy's doing, you got to go get it. So we're happy to be a part of this industry. Adam, anything you want to add to the industry topic here?
Yeah, I had a couple of thoughts. I wanted to kind of narrow it down because, looking at these charts and these numbers, I mean, trillion, I can't even wrap my brain around that number, But, going along with what you mentioned about the strength of the industry and people always getting sick and needing help, no matter what is happening with the economy or anything else, people are going to be sick and they're going to need help by doctors, and doctors are going to be treating patients no matter what. And what we have found is that the doctors will need to get paid some way by someone somehow for the work that they're doing. And they are having a really hard time managing the getting paid part. And we actually sometimes refer to that as revenue cycle management. So anybody on this webinar, if you want to write that down, that's kind of the buzzword that helps doctors kind of helps perk their ears up when you say revenue cycle management, because that is helping them in every little aspect of their revenue cycle. Everything from the very first phone call with a new patient and how that patient is put into the computer, all the way to verifying the insurance and making sure that the claim is clean and proper before you send it in. And then when it comes back, into the computer, you've got to make sure that it's all good. And then making sure that money gets to the doctor and they get paid what they deserve for the work that they did. So that's called the revenue cycle. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I just wanted to talk about specifically the revenue, the size of the what's called the RCM market. So there's an entire market around revenue cycle management, and it is growing like crazy. So just the small part of the healthcare market is what's called the RCM market. And right now we are at $105 billion just for the revenue cycle management market in 2021. And it is projected to grow to 250 billion by 2028, the RCM market. So if that's not a strong market signal that it's something that's something that you should be in, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, that's pretty strong in my book. So that's what I had for that one.
Pretty strong indeed. And it's important to know that the healthcare market in general is just gargantuan, but the revenue cycle management portion of the healthcare industry is also really large and, as you mentioned, growing leaps and bounds. I want to throw back for just a second. I don't see any questions coming through. I know some of you have probably been looking at American Business Systems for longer than just a few days. You might have weeks, months, or in some cases years that you've looked into ABS. If you have questions as we're going through these topics, if we're touching on subjects that are lighting a spark in your brain and something comes up and you want a little more detail, or it sparks a question that it might be on a different topic, or heck, maybe you have a whole list of questions and you haven't had a chance to talk to an ABS rep, start throwing them in the Q&A panel right now. You can find that in your Zoom controls, the little Q&A panel. You can add a question at any time. As we see those come through, we're going to answer those questions live. So if you want to get on air with your question, feel free to start throwing those through. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is the cost to get into this kind of a business and to get into this industry. It doesn't matter how great an industry is if you're looking at starting a company and it's outside of your means for funding a new business. Doesn't matter how great it is. We'd all love to own a McDonald's restaurant or a Chick-fil-A restaurant, but if you don't have the capital, sorry, you can't play at the big boy poker table if you can't afford the chips, right? So American Business Systems, what does it cost to get into a business like this? Well, first and foremost, the American Business Systems investment is $28,990. Now, that is not the franchise fee. That is the total investment. It's really important to clarify. I know many of you are looking into businesses. You might not be looking into just healthcare businesses. You might be looking into any kind of franchise that you can afford and trying to pick between different models. There are not very many franchises with less than a $30,000 total investment. We're in a very small category. Most franchises have a total investment of above $50,000. So there's very, very few franchises where you can invest less than $30,000 to start your business. Now, one of the things that is difficult about researching franchises, I know many of you have probably gone to the franchise websites where you can search, there's tons of different franchise portals where you can type in your investment level and you can search for franchises in an industry and things like that. One of the tricks that you'll see on these websites is you'll put in, let's say, $50,000 as an investment range, and you'll get hundreds and hundreds of franchises, and they're all, $50,000. And then if you really take a look at it, they'll say $50,000 or $40,000 franchise fee, right? And then if you really look at it, total investment, $80,000, $100,000, $200,000, $250,000. Well, what does that mean? Well, most franchises have a franchise fee that is that's just the ticket that you have to buy to get into the business. Then on top of that, there's operational budget, there's equipment if it's a business that has equipment, there's if it has a retail space that's the 6 months to a year lease agreement you have to pay up front. If there's employees, you have to have money in the bank to support the employees for the first 6 months. And you start adding all that stuff up, and okay, great, it's a $40,000 franchise fee, but you've got all these other things that you have to consider that will be included in your total first year expenditure. With American Business Systems, we are truly less than a $30,000 total investment, and hardly anything is going to touch us in the franchise category. Now, there's a lot more we can talk about when it comes to costs. We actually have, as Adam mentioned earlier, if you go to our main website and you click on the virtual brochure link that's at the top and you fill out this form, or if you send an email to your rep that invited you to this webinar, we can send over our research guide, and it goes into a lot of detail on the different operational costs to consider. Now, we all have a phone and a computer and internet access and things like that. So of course, that's going to be involved in any business that you choose to start. But there are some other things to consider as well. Some minor marketing expenses, website hosting, and just little things that maybe you haven't thought about. So get your hands on the research guide. It's a 60-page PDF. Spend some time with it. And if you have any questions about the cost, reach out to your rep and we would be glad to assist. So,
yeah, that's good stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that you mentioned that people don't consider and don't think about with a lot of those traditional franchises. All kinds of stuff will creep up on you, and it'll add up really, really quick. We got a question here from Fred. Fred says, that is a great price. Is it a pay at once, or can you pay in installments?
Oh, you're asking me.
I can answer if you want.
I don't know. No. So, Fred, we're joking around here, but it is a great price. It is a very low investment compared to other franchises. American Business Systems does not have any type of finance plan or installment plan. We leave financing to the experts. We're partnered with an incredible business lending company. They're honest and transparent, and they can help you with an assessment to figure out what the best business loan for you is. So if you would like an introduction to our business lender, contact your rep, and we would be more than happy to get you set up for an assessment to see what you qualify for and see what program might be the best for you. As a side note, you are welcome to invest with any type of personal lending that you secure. Credit cards are fine. If you want to liquidate a retirement account, if you want to take out a personal loan and fund the business that way, we have no restrictions of any kind. We have no net worth requirement of any kind, which is kind of a standard thing with franchising qualifications. We're very, very easy to work with, but we do not have an installment plan. So.
All right, we got another one from Fred, but let's go ahead and keep going, and we'll answer his other question here in a sec.
Yeah, we'll grab your other question, Fred, here in just a moment. So, we talked about the cost. That's not a very fun thing to lead with. Nobody likes to spend money. How about we talk about the fun stuff? How much money can you make in a business like this? And this is a fun topic. So we have to be a little bit careful about this. Now, this is a live webinar, but we record these webinars and we post these webinars on YouTube. And if you go out on YouTube and look at our YouTube channel, you're going to see we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these recorded videos. And you can go back and look at what we've said over years, literal years. We've been doing this a very long time. We have webinars every Wednesday afternoon. So we do have to be careful about what we say when it comes to income for a business like this. So what we are showing you on the screen is very conservative, and we're trying to give you what we feel is the minimum threshold of what you should expect to make with a single doctor client scenario. So in other words, if you follow our marketing strategies, you go through our training, and you secure just one single client, one doctor, not some kind of, specialist or cardiologist or something, where they're billing very, very high on a per patient basis. We're just talking about a regular family medicine doctor. You should expect to generate for yourself $2,000 to $3,000 in monthly income. That's a one client scenario. How long is it going to take you to process the claims and take care of that client on a weekly basis? It's going to take about an hour to 2 hours of daily work to manage that account, give or take. You can do the quick math there, $2,000 to $3,000 a month. If we want to call that $25,000 a year, we're being very conservative. 4 clients is a 6-figure income in this business. I know most people looking into our opportunity are trying to replace a regular job income, corporate type job income, anywhere from $80,000 to $120,000, $150,000. Handful of clients get you there in this business. So you can cash flow very quickly. Your return on investment or your break even can be extremely fast compared to other franchise scenarios. $29,000 investment, you're going to make that back with one single client in about 12 months. I challenge you to go find a franchise model for less than a $50,000 investment where you can make your return on investment that quickly. I can tell you it doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So great model for quickly generating income. Anything you'd like to add to that, Adam?
Yeah, let me jump in and say, first of all, we have some income calculators that you can play around with on our website. So if you go to absystems.com, you can click on, how many clients, will it take me to get to 6 figures? Or you can play around with the numbers in there. Also, just to let you know how we got that figure of 2 to 3K, our owners are charging in the range of around 5 to 9% usually. And that's a percentage of all the money that they help doctors collect, not only from insurance companies, but from patients as well. So that's where that number comes from. And then the 1 to 2 hours of daily work, we have owners tell us that they can process 1 medical claim in about 2 minutes. So a typical family doctor sees 25 patients or so a day. That's where we came up with that time to process. Joe has typed in a question here. Well, how long does it take to get a client? Do you want to answer that one?
So most of our owners pick up their first client in about 60 to 90 days after going through our training program. Now, this assumes that you actually follow our marketing plan. When you exit our training, you will have a step-by-step marketing plan that is customized for your skill set. So if you're the shy type and you don't like communicating with people, we're not going to send you cold calling into a doctor's office to try to sell them directly face to face. So we're going to tailor that marketing plan to your specific skill set. If you follow the marketing plan, you should expect to get your first client in 60 to 90 days. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes it happens more quickly. Occasionally while someone's going through their training, they'll get their first client over during the training process if they've done a little bit of pre-marketing. So it can be really quick. And then as far as how to get a client, we're actually going to look at that here in just a couple of minutes on a different slide. We'll go into a little bit more detail on some of the marketing strategies that we teach. I'll add one more thing here about getting clients. We actually have an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. So we understand that you're investing almost $30,000. Everybody that we work with for 3 decades is concerned that they're going to invest the money and not be successful ultimately, when they start their business and start marketing. So we have put together the franchise world's only 100% unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee. There is no other franchise in the world that offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. Why do we do this? We do this to help make our new owners comfortable that they've made the right decision. We let you go all the way through training. You're going to learn the marketing strategies, the operational side of the business. You're going to learn the startup phase of your company, how to put everything in order so you're ready to get out there and start marketing. If you still have the heebie-jeebies after you go through your training program, contact us. We'll issue a full refund of your investment. We're not trying to take people's money. We're trying to take people who are excited about starting businesses like this and help you accomplish that as quickly as possible. So remember, you've got that guarantee in your back pocket. Did I touch on all the questions? There were several there at the same time, and I can see more coming in as well.
Yeah, we didn't address Fred's, which we kind of did, but let me just expand on it. He asked,
Sure.
once you're part of the company, will you provide us with our first client, or are we expected to obtain our own client on our own? Okay, so that's a good question. Let me just clarify. Doctors are pretty unique individuals, and we have found throughout the years that they will not work with somebody they don't know, like, and trust. So there's no way that we could just hand over a doctor to someone that they've never met and have no idea, their background or skill level or anything. So there is, Jason mentioned it takes 60 to 90 days typically to get a first client. And that time is spent prospecting, of course, but also building trust and educating the doctors and talking with people who can refer you to doctors. And there's a whole process that we've come up with to help you get a name and a phone number through these different networking methods and different marketing methods that we've been kind of perfecting over the years. And basically, we show you how to get a name and a phone number through a lot of these different marketing methods that we have come up with. And we become very heavily involved in the marketing process at that point. So we help you with a full practice analysis. We do a full software demo for you. We help you put together your proposals with your pricing, your agreements. We're there every step of the way to get the doctor to sign with you, your company. And that we have found that to be a really, really effective method for lasting relationships. Doctors are going to be clients for life the way that we do it. So hopefully that answers that, Fred.
I think we've got everything handled. There's one other question here from Daryl that I'd like to answer really quickly because it's an easy answer. Daryl asks, are dentists also included as potential clients? Absolutely. We have a dental billing package that's included that you can utilize to offer those services to dentists. Dentists, just so you know, on average bill less per patient than a medical doctor. So the income that you generate is going to be less than the income you would generate with a medical doctor. But if you know a dentist or you want to pursue that market because you have an affiliation or you have connections, we absolutely have great solutions for dentists as well. It's a good question. Thanks, Daryl. Okay, I think we've knocked out all the questions for now, and let's jump through to our next top. Well, how do I get clients? And we just basically we just spent about 10 minutes on that. So maybe I think Fred might have a little ESP there and maybe a crystal ball and knew where we were going. So just to add
different methods, though, yeah.
Yeah. So just to add a little more color, right? So Fred, and for those of you who are curious about our different marketing methods, we've got a ton of different methods that we teach. Networking, referral-based marketing strategies. This would be things like networking groups, BNI, Chamber of Commerce, meetup.com, even LinkedIn. Medical sales reps. I'm telling you, if you want to get a business like this cranked up really fast, go out and find a good medical sales rep. We teach you how to do this, and you'll be able to very quickly get introductions to the types of doctors that are really good clients for this type of a business. Direct marketing. If you have a sales background and you're not afraid to just go right in and start marketing, we've got some great strategies for that. Expos and trade shows, those are a little more passive. The doctors and office managers come into you, and there can be some benefits there. Lunch and learns. The quickest way to find your way to somebody's heart is through their stomach, right? So they say. So lunch and learns are a great way to provide some education, a little bit of marketing, and then you can get the door open because you're bringing food in. And taking lunch into a medical office is something that works really well. Educational events, we teach you how you can put on educational seminars. And again, doctors and office managers come to you. These oftentimes are compliance related. So you have a compliance topic that's a really hot topic or a new compliance regulation, and you're offering expertise and guidance on that. And guess what? You're also going to throw in the other things that you can help them with, like medical billing and patient collections and all these other things. And then, classified ads. This is kind of a weird one, but it works. You scour through classified ads looking for doctors who are advertising, trying to find a medical biller or an accountant or a CPA or anything revenue related. And we teach you how to market to those doctors. Hey, you're looking for a medical biller. We actually have really great solutions. Could we talk to you about how our solutions might be able to help you even more than getting some random medical biller that you've got to put on salary and who knows what kind of outcome you're going to get from it. These are all the marketing strategies. We've got a few more. but we teach these during your Jumpstart training. Anything to add on the getting clients side, Adam?
Yeah, the classified ads, that doesn't have to be a newspaper.
Right.
It can actually be online. We actually have a lot of different resources we can point you to online where doctors post those types of ads. And we've had a lot of success with that. Also notice what's not on this list: cold calling. We have not found that to be very effective. I mean, if you tell us, I've been cold calling all my life and I'm excellent at it, I love calling people who don't want to talk to me and forcing my products on them, we can help you do that if you want to, but that's at the very, very, very bottom of the list of things that we teach in terms of getting business. So hopefully that helps ease some of your thoughts about marketing on here. It's all based on warm market, meeting people that can put you in touch with doctors. Very, very non-aggressive approach, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yep, we help you get there. If you follow the program that we teach, you should be able to get a client very quickly, and ABS support is there to help you each step of the way. I got to throw a quick shout out to my friend Susan, who I've been working with for a while. Jumped into the webinar. Susan, I just saw that you logged on. Great to have you here. And we need to catch up soon. Happy holidays to you. Okay.
Hey,
yeah. Hey, Susan. Marketing territories. Let's be honest. Most of you are probably looking into more than one industry and more than one franchise. We can probably safely make that assumption about most of you. And a lot of other franchises have very, very strict marketing territories that you are restricted to, and you cannot market outside of those territories. And if you happen to get a client, conventional franchise models say that you have to share the revenue with whatever other franchisee is in the market that you got a client in. So that's a very restrictive model. So does ABS have marketing territories? Do they have any kind of restrictions? Adam, can you answer that for us?
Nope, we do not. We are not a traditional franchise, so we allow our owners to operate in any part of the United States. And as a matter of fact, in this business specifically, doctors are very big on referrals themselves. So when they find a good medical billing company, a good revenue cycle management company, they're going to tell their colleagues. So a lot of the interviews that you'll see on our YouTube page and website, a lot of people have said, yeah, I started, I signed up a doctor, in my area, and I provided such good customer service and they love the software. They started referring me. And now I have clients all over the country. Some of our owners, the bulk of their business is not even in their own state, just from referrals that they got. So we found that to be a big benefit to be able to operate anywhere in the US. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had some owners start with us a few years ago who had expertise in telemarketing. And they marketed their ABS business exclusively through telemarketing. So they had telemarketers that they got involved to call doctors all over the US. Not one single client they got was in their local area because they did national telemarketing. So you are not limited in any way, shape, or form. As you start growing your business and getting referrals, no matter where those clients are, those are your clients. I have another follow-up question though. Adam, what happens if you stumble upon another ABS owner when you're marketing, or you have a client as an ABS owner and another owner comes in and tries to steal your client from you? What's that scenario look like with the ABS model?
I don't know. I'd probably call up ABS support and yell at them. That's what I would do. No, you know what? As a matter of fact, I cannot recall that ever happening. I mean, I'm sure that it's theoretically possible. Could you have a licensee living right next door? We can certainly explore where our owners are located in the relationship, to where you're located. But the fact that, you can market to any doctor anywhere in the United States. I mean, there's literally thousands upon thousands of potential clients, any specialty, as a matter of fact, that you can think of, even dentists, like we mentioned. the chances of you running into someone else out there are basically slim and none. It just doesn't happen, because the marketing that we're teaching is all based on, meeting people who can refer you, referrals and networking. It's not like you're going to be out there knocking on doors and bidding against a bunch of other people or anything like that. It's nothing like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And if we did somehow get into a scenario where you had a client and another ABS owner was coming in trying to steal it, or you're doing your marketing and you try to steal a client, as soon as we got wind of it, we wouldn't allow that to happen. We don't allow poaching between clients. And also, kind of naturally, we have a barrier to that, because what are you going to offer that the other ABS owner hasn't already offered? You're offering essentially the same exact thing. You could maybe shave down the cost a little bit, but the doctor doesn't know you. They already know they're getting incredible results from the other ABS owner. So it's just nothing that has ever happened with our model. I can see we've got a few questions coming in here. And for those of you who might have joined us late, or you have questions you'd like to add, don't forget, you can go into the Q&A panel and you can start adding questions, and we will answer those as quickly as we can get to them. If you want, Adam, do you want to we can go ahead and take a couple here now. I can see Cynthia, she probably missed when we touched on this earlier. Cynthia is asking, do you provide the clients? Meaning, does ABS provide the clients included with the investment? And no, we do not. If we provided the clients with the investment would not be $28,000. The investment would be more like $75,000 to $100,000, because a client in this industry is so profitable. The minimum you would expect to make with a client in this industry is $25,000 a year. So if you have a revenue producing client at $25,000 a year, roughly speaking, on the open market, that client would be worth $50,000 if you were to sell it. So $29,000 investment plus $50,000 client, you can do the math there. It would be a much higher investment. So ABS has chosen to, instead of try to include a client, which would push the investment triple or quadruple what it is, we've chosen to keep the investment as low as possible, because it gives a lot more people opportunity to get into the industry. So clients are not included, but we show you how to do it. Most of our owners get their first client in 60 to 90 days. Adam, do you want to take the next question, Daryl's question?
Well, I wanted to actually go back, because there was one that I didn't answer from Fred. Fred asks, are there any other monthly fees? And that kind of goes along with what I was going to say on the territory slide. We didn't mention, I don't think, not only are there no territories, but there are no royalty fees or support fees paid to us of any kind. So when we say your total investment is $28,990, we truly mean that. There are some monthly fees for software that the doctors pay whenever you engage with the doctors, but the doctors are paying that. So that $28,990, aside from that, is you've just got your basic, home office fees and gas, and that's it. So it's pretty low cost there on as far as monthly fees and ongoing operational costs. Okay, so what else do we got? Let's see. Which one do you want to answer next?
I'll let you handle both of them. Just kidding.
From Cynthia or Daryl or you, Jenna?
We just answered Cynthia's question asking about if we provide clients. We answered that in the Q&A panel, so that one's solved. And then Daryl had asked what sets ABS apart from other billing companies that will help with marketing. And I think, Daryl, I believe your question is you're asking for other franchise opportunities that help with marketing. And obviously there are competitors out there to American Business Systems, just like any other franchise in any other industry. Marketing wise, there are some key differences, and you're probably talking about our main competitor. It would be easier to take this conversation offline, so I'd recommend that you get with your rep to talk about this in more detail. But our main competitor primarily uses verified appointments as a marketing strategy, and we have found that to be very ineffective and frustrating for our owners. If you'd like to use verified appointments as part of your marketing strategy, we can point you to some ways to do that, but that is not something we would recommend. Our most successful marketing strategies that we've found in 3 decades are referral and networking strategies and utilizing medical sales reps. And we teach you how to do this, and then you have unlimited lifetime support, and our support team helps you execute on those strategies. So how does it compare? Well, of course, we feel like our marketing strategies are far superior. And, the proof is in the pudding. We've got a long list of owners that we can send you to chat about their experience with our marketing strategies, how quickly they got clients, how many clients they got, and that sort of thing. So again, reach out to your rep. They'd be happy to supply you with a reference list of ABS owners to more specifically answer that question. But I think that's about as close as I can get without having a little more detail. Maybe you have a specific area of marketing maybe that you're talking about. So
the way that I read that question from Daryl is how we help him stand apart from other billing companies. If you need more clarification on that, Daryl, just type in the chat and let us know. We should probably go ahead and do some more slides here. We're coming up on 10 minutes to go here.
Probably should. Yeah. So do you need prior sales or billing experience to be successful? You certainly do not. The vast majority of our owners have no sales and marketing experience, no medical background. We occasionally get a medical biller that comes through, but you do not need any prior experience. We take you from zero to getting clients, and we get it done really quickly. Most of our owners are out there marketing and getting clients in 30 days. Why don't the doctors just do the billing themselves? What's the advantage with ABS? Like, why in the world would they choose you over any other method? There's really 2 main reasons. The first reason, and the most important one, is what we're able to do for doctors in the revenue department is so dramatic that it's one of the primary reasons our owners are able to very quickly get clients. Usually, doctors increase their revenue 20 to 30% using the services of our owners. That's 20 to 30% revenue improvement. The doctor sees that typically in 90 days or less. So if you think, if you've ever been involved as a business owner or on an executive team, or you've had any kind of management where you've been responsible for generating revenue in a company, if you got the opportunity to increase revenue 20 to 30%, you're going to listen to what they have to say. That is not small potatoes. That's huge, especially for a medical practice. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars a month. So that's one of the reasons, and the primary reason why doctors choose to use the services of our owners. The secondary reason is we can really help clean up their practice from an operational standpoint. We can lower inefficient duplicate processes. We can automate things that the doctor is doing as a manual process. We can greatly reduce the doctor's workload and the doctor's staff workload so that they're freed up to take care of patients. Those are the 2 primary reasons, but of course, there's many, many, many more.
Yeah, a lot of people on this webinar, if they're not familiar, they may think most medical practices are a well-oiled machine. Well, I'm here to tell you that that is not the case at all. We get the practice analyses that we teach you how to do. We see those all the time coming in. Our support department gets those and helps you review them. And practices are a mess. The doctors that are trying to manage their billing and other processes in their office, they've got a lot of money and time tied up in extra staff, hardware, software, salaries, benefits, all this other stuff that they don't take into account, that's costing them a lot of time and money. So they are starting to realize, and we can actually help demonstrate that we can save them a lot of time and money by focusing on some of this stuff outside their office. So that's why they're seeing such high revenue improvements when they switch to one of our licensees.
Yeah, I always say our owners aren't out there begging for business. Our owners are out there changing doctors' lives. It's a dramatic improvement for the physicians that take the time to listen and take advantage of our owners' services. So we have a couple more categories here just to touch on. We've got a bunch of questions. So we get this all the time, is I claim the best software on the market. What's the best software? And that is a difficult question to answer. Of course, we feel like it is the best tool and solution for our owners and for their clients in the market that we target, which is private practice, small to medium private practices, even up to 20, 30, 40, 50 doctor group practices. But the statistic that I always like to point here as a good indicator of how desirable our platform is, over half of the doctors that do a demo of our platform move forward with an implementation. For me, that says it all. If a doctor sees our system, most of them want it. And so is it the best? Well, there's different types of platforms for different types of doctors. And we feel like it's the best solution for the types of doctors that we teach our owners to market to. And most doctors that see the platform want to implement it. Adam, anything you'd like to add to that?
Just the fact that is such a huge thing to think that half would move forward.
Yeah.
How could that be? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because the iClaim EMRX platform has a handful of unique key features that no other system has and cannot do. So when they see those features in a demo, I've witnessed this myself. I have witnessed doctors and office managers say to each other, "Wow, I've never seen. Have you seen that? I know I've never seen it. I've never seen it do that and do that again."
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It's really cool when they see the demo. They fall in love with it.
Yeah. By the way, get yourself a demo of the platform if you haven't had it. If you have not had an iClaim demo, contact your rep and get a demo. It's a lot of fun. I love doing the demos. So reach out and get one. We've got some questions that I want to get to, but there's 3 more quick topics. How hard is it to learn how to file claims? Hey, again, get a demo. Contact your rep. Say, hey, I want to see the iClaim software. Show me how to file claims. We can teach anybody to file claims on our system in just a few days. It is not that challenging. Now, are you going to be a billing expert in a few days or after a couple of weeks of training? Of course not. You're going to need a lot of help, a lot of assistance, but that's why you have unlimited lifetime support. Another question we get all the time is, what's the competition like for a business like this? And we could go into tons of detail here, but the takeaway statistic on this is there is no company with more than a 5% market share in the RCM slice of the market and in the software slice of the market in private practice, billing and practice management and EHR platforms. It's an extraordinarily fragmented industry. And what that means is it doesn't have a high barrier of entry for a smaller company like you would be starting. You're not going up against a Microsoft, a Google, an Amazon, where the whole market is just kind of locked down and you can't even compete. It's much easier to get clients when the landscape is very fragmented like this. So anything about competition you'd like to add, Adam?
It's mainly boils down to the fact that we set you up to look extremely professional with the marketing materials and the website that we give you, and the fact that you have a dozen different services and solutions. That's really going to set you apart from all the other people out there that are just offering medical billing alone. You're going to blow them out of the water with what you can do for the doctors. So that's another point there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That makes you stand out. Everybody else, is going to be looking at a proposal that says, oh, we're going to reduce your cost by 0.5%. Who cares? That doesn't make me want to change. Then our proposal comes through from our owner and it says, you're going to get a 28% improvement in revenue. Okay, where do I sign? Right. Okay.
Right.
This is the last category. And then we're going to answer a bunch of questions that we have queued up here. Can I run my business from my home or do I need an office? We get this question all the time. Absolutely, you can run your business from your home. You do not need an office to run a business like this. Now, sometimes in rare cases, we've had owners grow huge businesses. I mean, massive. We had a guy with over 400 clients. He had a team of 40 billers. yes, there's a centralized office and everybody comes into the office, so it's easier to manage. We have someone who had a 98 doctor group practice, a single client with 98 doctors. And she ran a team of billers as well and had a centralized office. It's pretty rare though. If you grow your business to 4 or 5 clients, you can manage that yourself. You can file the claims yourself. If you have a spouse or business partner, they can help as well. And you could get that number to maybe 6, 7, 8 clients. Once you cross that threshold, you start hiring billers. It's pretty easy to manage the billers remotely. You don't need a centralized office for that. So home-based business until you decide you'd like to move into an office. Now we've got a bunch of questions here, Adam. Do you want to try to knock these out, or do you want to finish the kind of housekeeping slides and then do the Q&A?
I'd say let's go the housekeeping and get to the end, and then let's do all the questions.
Perfect. We've got a bunch of questions, but if you have any more questions for anyone who's attending still, feel free to type them in. And as soon as we get through a couple of housekeeping slides, we will move on to the Q&A. So you've been looking at the business. You couldn't do it in 2021, but 2022 is your year. You're ready to rock. You're going to get your business started with ABS. Well, here's how to do it. We have very clear due diligence steps. Contact your rep if those due diligence steps that you see listed out here on the left, if you don't know what some of these are, if you haven't had a demo, if you have not talked to our owners on our reference list, if you haven't had a chance or don't know where to get the research guide, if you'd like to look at the purchase agreement, contact your rep and we'd be happy to make sure that you've gone through all of these steps so that you can make a good decision to move forward on your business. And don't forget, we do have an unconditional 30-day money-back guarantee so that you can be confident that you've invested in a company that you want to partner with. You can go all the way through training. We ship the business package out to you. We give you full access to all the support services and our support website, which is fantastic. And if you're not 100% certain that this is your business that you want to start, if you're not excited to start your business, we'll issue a full refund of your investment. There's no other franchise on the market that can say that they have a guarantee like that. Nobody else has it. If you have additional questions, if we don't get to your questions, call our toll-free number, 866-565-8413. We'd be happy to direct you to your rep and answer any questions you want. You can also send an email to info@absystems.com. And don't forget to join us next week. We've got a fantastic owner, Dave Parsons. He's a great guy. I was lucky enough to work with him last year. He started his business. He was very quickly successful, and he's got just an awesome story. So he's going to be on live next Wednesday at 4:00 Central. And tune in then and look for the invitation in your inbox early next week. That will definitely be one that you'll want to take a part of. All right, let's do Q&A. Remember, you can throw your questions in the Q&A panel, and we'll take maybe an extra 5 minutes or so here to get those answered. All right, Adam, which one do we want to start with? We got a whole slew of them in here.
Thanks everybody for being on with us today. If you got to go, I understand, but we will get to your questions right now. So here we go. I'll take the one from Uchenna. I thought the actual price is $27,990.
Oops.
Uchenna, it was for many, many years, and it went up on January 1. We actually have been working very diligently and adding lots of new products and services to the package, and we felt that it was worth the price increase. So the price is $28,990 now. Svetlana is asking, is it going to be a recurrent investment fee every year of $28,000? No, Svetlana, that is a one-time fee that you pay. And it's not a true license in a sense of something that you have to renew or anything like that. Basically, the license is just, we are allowing you to market our products and services as your own company's products and services. So that's just a one-time fee. You never have to repay that. She's also asking, what happens if I want to sell my business later? Do I sell it back to you or anybody I want? Svetlana, it's this. We do have people that their goal is to build this business up and then sell it and move on to something else. I mean, people absolutely do that. We don't facilitate the sale of the business because it truly is your own business entity that you're creating and your own business that you're running. So the sale of the businesses would be completely up to you on how you wanted to do that. Of course, depending on how many clients you have, you could sell it for 2 or 3 times, the money that you're bringing in annually for that. So absolutely, you could sell it. How long is the training? She's asking. It's done online with a live instructor, so you can do it from home. It's 10 modules that are 90 minutes a piece. So we're talking about 15 hours of your initial training. And then we have a private support website that has hundreds of hours of continuing education that you have lifetime access to that never expires. So there you go. You want to take another one?
Yeah, so Vasco is thanking us for our time. You're quite welcome, Vasco. Thanks for joining us. And Vasco asked for the demo. Please send me the demo. We actually do a live software demo. And if you contact your rep, look at the email that you got inviting you to this webinar, and your rep will have their signature in that email. Shoot them an email back and say, hey, I'd like to see a demo of the iClaim system. And they'll schedule a Zoom meeting kind of like this and show their screen and walk you through the demo live. We like to do it like that because everybody has questions and it covers a lot of detail. So we don't just send a video out because we like to be able to answer questions, and you're definitely going to have questions when you see the platform. Contact your rep. They'd be happy to do a demo for you live over Zoom.
All right, we got one from Harshan asking, after the initial investment, what is the percentage of revenue share for ABS on a per month basis? So the percentage of revenue share that you share with ABS after your initial investment is 0%. $0. And you may be thinking, well, that's just silly. How in the world is ABS going to make any money? And that's if you're asking that question in your mind, then that means I just read your mind and I'm going to answer that question. We actually have a relationship with several different technology companies. One company that developed the iClaim platform, for example. So when you sign a doctor up to do the medical billing service and put them on the iClaim platform, we get a small residual from the software company for you doing that. So we definitely do, as you can see, we definitely do have a vested interest in you signing up clients, and we are going to do whatever we can to help you with the marketing because we have relationships with several different companies that give us that residual. So good question, though. All right. Christian is asking, is it a good idea to get ASPCA/CCA/CBCS certification?
ABC, BBD, yeah.
That is a lot of acronyms there. And but I mean, in all seriousness, I'm glad that you asked that question, Christian, because we talked about this market being so fragmented. Well, that includes the training and certifications for this industry as well. There are tons of different certifications and things that you can go, schooling and programs that you can go through. We have our own that we came up with called the CMRM, which is a Certified Medical Revenue Manager, and that is all that you need. So going through our program and receiving our certificate is all that someone needs. You don't need any additional certifications whatsoever. I'm really glad that you're caring about animals. I mean, ASPCA, I mean, they do great work for, cruelty to animals, but you don't need any of that. So any education that you've already got, or maybe some of you on this webinar have gone through some type of billing program or coding or whatever, that's great. I mean, that's going to be a benefit, but it's not required. It's not anything that you have to do. So hopefully that answers that one.
Got it. You want me to take this last one from Harshan?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Harshan is asking, does iClaim need to integrate with the doctor's EMR, electronic medical record system? How is the data or information exchanged? Now, this is not an easy question to answer very quickly, but let me see if I can do a good job of at least giving you a general idea of how this works. you're talking about complex systems, right? So the first thing to understand is all of these systems, our system and any system that a doctor is utilizing in their office, it should be operating on what's called an HL7 compliant system, which means that the data can be exchanged and it is compatible with other systems. So in theory, all of these systems should walk and talk with each other and exchange information with no problem. Now, if you know anything about software systems, just because it's compliant doesn't mean it necessarily works well to do that. So we have two basic, what we would call implementation scenarios. The most ideal implementation scenario is for the doctor to completely replace their current technology, their billing system, their practice management system, and their electronic health records charting system that they use with the patients. The whole thing gets replaced by our system. If they want the best results, the most streamlined workflows, if they want to reduce all that duplicate effort and all that kind of, the craziness that goes on in a doctor's office, do a full implementation and kick back and enjoy more money and less work. But that is not always the best choice for a given scenario. Sometimes the doctors just really hold tightly to their charting software. So we can do a hybrid implementation, which connects our billing and practice management system to the doctor's electronic charting system. And we do that also. There are some other outlier scenarios, but those are the two basic ideas. As far as the doctor's old records, of course, we can import the old records into the new system. There are different variations of how that can be accomplished. The way to button up this conversation is just to say that there is no way that we could prescribe what type of implementation would be the most ideal in any given scenario. The very first step that any of our owners have with a potential client is gathering information about that client so that we can make the recommendation for the best solution. And that includes implementation. Do you do a full implementation, hybrid? What are the different aspects of that need to be considered? This is not an easy part of the business, but that's why you're partnering with a company that's been doing this for almost 3 decades. So great question. We could spend an hour talking about this. Contact your rep. They'd be happy to help dive into this. And by all means, get a software demo, because I think you'd really enjoy it if you're asking questions like this.
I just want to add one point to that. Everything that Jason just mentioned, the implementations, the data migrations, the integrations, we do it all for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. It's hard, it's complex, but our team does it for you. So there you go. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, a great question.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks for staying on a little bit late, past 5. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and hopefully we'll see you on one of our training sessions soon. So have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Take care, everyone.
All right, see you, everybody.